Hello, I'm Rebecca Lynch, Development and Grants Director for ArtsAVL, and I'm here to share an overview of the Grassroots Arts Program Grant for fiscal year 27. We're delighted to again have support for this program from North Carolina Arts Council, Buncombe County, and the National Endowment for the Arts. Since 1977, the North Carolina Arts Council's Grassroots Arts Program, or GAP, has provided North Carolina citizens access to quality arts experiences. The program provides funding for the arts in all 100 counties of the state through partnerships with local arts councils like ArtsAVL. The Buncombe County Grassroots Grant Program is made possible by ArtsAVL, the North Carolina Arts Council, Buncombe County Government, and the National Endowment for the Arts. GAP provides programmatic and operating support for nonprofit arts organizations in Buncombe County. GAP funds may be used for expenditures to conduct quality arts programs or operate a nonprofit arts organizations. Please note this grant is not for individual artists or non-arts organizations. Grants for fiscal year 27 will range from $2,500 to $7,500 depending upon the size of the organization. And importantly, the deadline to apply is September 14th, 2026. Funding priority will follow the tiers established by the NCAC, with arts organizations receiving first priority, followed by arts learning programs and community and civic organizations providing arts programming. Organizations and programs located outside the City of Asheville within Buncombe County will also receive special consideration. The application will open on August 17th and close on September 14th. We expect to announce awards by late October, early November, and there'll be a final report due next May, May 31st, 2027. The project must be completed between July 1, 2026 and June 30, 2027. Organizations and applicants must have been in operation for at least 1 year and be physically located in Buncombe County. If you've already received a 26-27 grant from ArtsAVL, such as Arts for Schools or ArtsAVL Community for a project, you may not submit a GAP application for that same project. You can submit for operating support if you're eligible for operating support, but not for project support for a same project you've already received funding for. And organizations that have received an NCAC Sustaining Support Grant are still eligible to apply for a GAP grant, but only for program support. And if you've received both an NCAC Sustaining Grant and an NEA Project Grant this year, in 2026, you are not eligible to apply for a GAP grant. Religious organizations or churches may not receive grassroots funds unless their programs are presented outside regular church services, engage the larger community, and do not contain religious content. Arts organizations may be required to match grant funding. The county's contribution satisfies the one-to-one match required for grantees receiving NCAC funding. Grantees receiving National Endowment for the Arts funding will have a required one-to-one match. Again, funds are for projects taking place from July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. This can be a reimbursement for projects occurring during this funding period that have already taken place. If the project is happening sort of, right now and you're not going to find out about your notification until later this fall, it can be a reimbursement, but projects must be completed by June 30th, 2027. Allowable expenses include program expenses for such things as performances and festivals, art exhibitions, camps, after-school programs, artist residencies, artist fees and travel, marketing, sets and costumes, space or equipment rental, or operating expenses, including salaries, telephone, office supplies, printing, postage, rent, utilities, insurance, etc. The grant funds cannot fund individual applicants. Prizes, competitions, scholarships, tuitions, or financial awards, art supplies or equipment purchases, fundraising events, the purchase of artwork, food or beverages for hospitality or entertainment functions, capital expenditures, internal school programs such as art programs, band and choral activities and equipment, oral history and history projects, and interest on loans, fines, or litigation costs. Evaluation considerations include the completeness of the application, the eligibility of the request, the feasibility of completion within the project period, budget size of the organization, accessibility of the organization of the program, the organization's stability, the arts and cultural alignment, geographic impact, and the artistic excellence and merit. All applications are initially screened by staff for completeness, eligibility, and feasibility. Applications receiving a 0 on any of these categories or a total score below 15 will not proceed to the next level. Staff will also include consideration of geographic impact. Applications from organizations located or for programs taking place outside the City of Asheville within Buncombe County will receive 1 priority point. This point will be added to the total average score from the panel review to determine the final total score. Applications will also be grouped into possible funding ranges based on budget size, with the understanding that larger institutions have a larger reach and greater operating costs. So up to 2,500 is the maximum for organizations with a budget below 50,000, up to 5,000 for organizations with a budget between 50,000 and 250,000, and up to $7,500 for organizations with a budget over $250,000. A selection panel will score all applications based on the following criteria: the completeness of the application, the feasibility of the application proposed project, the organization's stability, accessibility, and there are some examples here around accessibility for programs for individuals with disabilities, including physical, visual, hearing, and cognitive. How arts and cultural alignment, how centered are arts and culture in this proposal, and the artistic excellence and merit of the proposal. The selection panel is comprised of 3 to 5 volunteers to review the applications and make final funding recommendations. They're expected to review and score each application using a scoring spreadsheet and instructions provided by ArtsAVL. Scores are then combined and ranked by ArtsAVL staff. A joint meeting of all the panelists is then held to review the combined scores, discuss applications, and create a list of final funding recommendations. The applicant's combined scores, as well as any additional notes, will be given to the applicant with their award notification letter. Please know that panelists are reviewing the application based on what you submit. So be very clear, concise, and direct, and include all of the required information that is asked for you. Do not expect panelists to know information about your organization outside of your application. If you do receive a GAP grant, your organization will enter into a contractual agreement with ArtsAVL. And if an organization receives NEA funds as part of their GAP award, the organization must be prepared to comply with federal regulations and policy requirements applicable to all federal awards. We ask that you keep ArtsAVL staff informed of project milestones and, importantly, any changes in your project. You will have a final report due by May 31st, and late or missing final reports will result in no funding for the next grant cycle. You'll be required to demonstrate recognition of ArtsAVL, NCAC, Buncombe County, and the NEA. You'll be provided with logos and taglines, and those proof of recognition will be necessary in your final report. You'll also need to send emails or letters to our elected officials that help make this funding happen, Buncombe County, and our federal and state legislatures. We'll also encourage you to become a member of ArtsAVL and Arts&C. The funding provided through this grant is largely due to the advocacy of these organizations on your behalf. So support us and support Arts&C. We strongly encourage you to prepare all of your answers and attachments offline in a working document. You can access the grant questions in a PDF on the grant website. So you can prepare all of this in advance, have everything ready to go. And so then when you have everything lined up and ready to go, that's when you will click on the Google Forms link to the application that looks like this on the artsavl.org/gap webpage. That will take you to the Google form, and then you can just copy and paste and upload all of those materials that you have prepared in advance. If you need help with your application or have specific questions, please feel free to email me at rebecca@artsavl.org. And please, of course, do that well in advance of the deadline. You can email me and I'll be available to make an appointment or have a phone call during office hours, Monday through Fridays. I will not be available in evening hours or the weekend. So please do not wait till the last minute. But if you've got questions or concerns, reach out to me as quickly as soon as possible. So you'll have all that ready to go. And as always, we look forward to seeing your applications. Always so proud of all the work that is being done in our community. Thank you so much.